raised in a strong Catholic home. I went to Catholic school for 6 years, and that meant attending Mass 6 days a week because we had Mass before school every day. I learned to make my confession, which bless me, Father, for I have sinned, generally disobeying my parents or something. I was confirmed, all of those things. I memorized my catechism, but it didn't really get into me. I knew it, but I didn't feel it. And as I got to be a teenager, I started making mistakes. I was insecure, probably very immature, and I started having lots of bad judgment, making lots of mistakes. In my mid-20s, I found that I was divorced with 2 children. And one night, laying in my bed, I was so disillusioned, so scared, so lonely. I just cried out. I still knew how to pray. And I said, Lord, all I ever wanted was a good husband and a family. Well, 2 weeks later, I met my husband. It was a blind date. And he was kind of a lost soul as well. And in 4 months, impetuously, we married. But we began our life together and we enlarged our family. And we started seeking. And it's amazing how God starts putting Christians in your path, dropping just little hints. And some people that paid a big influence will never know what an evening in their home did for us. So we moved in the meantime from Fort Worth to Austin, Texas, and we kept passing this church every day. It was a big metal building, big property. It will seem like thousands of cars, but lots of cars, and we're like, my goodness, let's just go try it. So me being Catholic back in the day, now we're talking 40 years ago, I thought, Lord, you're going to strike me dead when I walk into a Baptist church. Instead, we were met by this wonderful, jovial man who just welcomed us, took us into the church. And this church was, I think, where SouthCrest is going. It was so spirit-filled. You just felt the love of the people, the messages, the music, and they just took us in. They loved on our family. And we went to church. We couldn't stay away. We went every Sunday morning, every Sunday night, every Wednesday night. After about 3 months, we had a visiting evangelist. His name was Ron Dunn. And he was going to be there on Sunday through Wednesday. So Sunday morning, we're listening to the sermon. I don't remember a thing about the sermon, except he said, there are people here today who think they are Christians, but they're not. I didn't like that. And when we left driving home, I told my husband, I said, I'm not going back. How dare he talk to me like that? To me? So we did not go back to church that night. And I was stewing on that comment that he made. The next morning, I was out in my garden. And in Texas, you have about 5 inches of dirt and the rest is rock. And I had my hoe. And I was hoeing the weeds. And I was thinking about what that man said. And I kept hoeing. And I was before I was just beating and beating and beating. And when I finally got tired, I changed on the inside. I turned loose of anger and bitterness, regrets, lots of regrets. It was like I wrestled with the angel that day, and the angel won. And went back to church. And my life has never been the same. I can't tell you that it's been easy, because this little person had a whole lot of growing to do, a whole lot of learning. And still, all these years later, I'm daily being corrected. But I know that I'm trying to live every day for the Lord, and I know what He did for me. And I don't know where I would be had it not been for that time in my garden.